Hey guys, so a few days ago, on Easter in fact, I went and saw Pacific Rim Uprising finally. It's been a couple weeks since I've seen since it came out, but I've been extremely busy. I have family that's in town right now from North Carolina, and so I've had to entertain them for the last few days, and I was actually even surprised I got to see this movie when I did on Easter. I did all the family festivities and shit like that, and I was like, I got some time to kill. Why not go see a movie? I'm like, well, I wanted to go. It's either this or Pacific Rim or Ready Player One. I'm like, I'll go see Pacific Rim first because I was a big fan of the first one. I'm like, why not? I said I have time to kill on Easter. Why not? And yeah, like I said, going in, like I was a fan of the first movie. It was a entertaining flick that was a pure popcorn flick slash monster movie that worked on pretty much every level for me. It was a fun movie. It was just a fun little film that was made by one of my favorite directors, Guillermo del Toro. And I was all on board for the idea of them like making this like a franchise and stuff like that. Even though I don't think the first one did that well enough, I didn't think the first one did well enough for it to get its own franchise, but apparently it did because now we get a sequel. And I'm like, all right, cool. I was not that thrilled because this one didn't have Guillermo del Toro involved. Well, he was producing it, but he's not directing it. And I'm like, yeah, even from the trailers, you could kind of tell that, his touch isn't there on this fucking movie. But I was like, still, I like Pacific Rim enough that I was like, I could see this being done well enough even without him. It's like, as long as, and I saw it's from the director was I think one of the producers of Daredevil season 2 or something like that. I think it was, or I forget what he did that or the Punisher. I forget which one he did. Somebody comments and tell me. I know he was one of the producers, but I was like, all right, fuck it, fine. It's like, bring it. I was like, and man, this was one of the most disappointing movies so far this year. I did not care too much for this fucking movie. As much as I love the first one, I was not that big of a fan of this one at all. It's not terrible. It's not the worst thing I've seen, and not the worst sequel I've seen. It's just the most uninteresting. It's a complete fucking step down from the first one, like on every fucking level, and it was so disappointing and so disheartening because you're like, man, does this movie? You wanted this sequel? I wanted the sequel to be good, but man, oh man, was it such a step down from the first one, and I know everybody bitches about like with the first one, oh, the movie really didn't have any characters or had cookie cutter characters or cliche characters. I'll say I'll agree with you on that. I wouldn't say the first one was perfect. I agree with a lot of people on their criticisms they had with the characters. But at least that movie had some type of fucking characters. This one has zero fucking characters. I mean, zero. Nothing. Nada. Like, I dare anybody from that saw this fucking movie to. It's been a couple days. I can't name you one fucking character's name in this movie, from this movie. I know John Boyega's in it. I know. And that's about it, actually. And, Clint Eastwood's kid's in it. That's all I fucking remember. I don't remember their names. I don't remember anything really about them other than John Boyega was the son of who was Idris Elba. He was the son of Idris Elba, who's this rebellious kid who decided not to follow in his dad's footsteps because we've seen that fucking story a million fucking times. Fucking Star Trek, just to name a fucking few. Let's just name one off the top of my head. And he was a former pilot or former commander or something like that, and then he blew his chance, and I don't know. I didn't fucking care. I mean, John Boyega is good, and he's fine. Charlie Hunnam wasn't exactly the most charismatic guy, but I would. But John Boyega is not really given much to fucking work with, and that's the problem. It's not much of a fucking. It's not much of a fucking character, and then you have the girl who seems like she's out. Like in the fucking wrong movie, and that she was supposed to be in a fucking Transformers movie, where she's like this girl who builds a Jaeger from scrap in a scrapyard, and she gets recruited into the Jaeger program, and she is, joins other cadets that are training, and really they give her some characteristics, but then like the rest of the cadets, you just know one's Russian, one's black, one's Asian. That's about fucking, or one's Indian. That's about fucking it. There's no characteristics. They're barely fucking on screen. They barely, like, to the point that they're like, who the fuck was that? Well, why do I give a shit when some of them die? And like literally their last hope, even though we barely ever seen them have any fucking training, especially the girl. Like at the last minute when they need that, when all their resources are pretty much, all their soldiers are pretty much done for. The cadets are their last hope, and even though we've never seen every time we see the girl, kind of getting the spoilers, the girl who built the Jaeger out of the scrapyard, she really is been doing terrible at her training, but apparently somewhere in there in between the hour of this movie, she fucking learned how to become a Jaeger pilot fucking quickly, and becomes pretty good at it. And like, how the fuck did that happen? There's no fucking character development. Like I said, there's no transition into that. The fucking villains pretty much, you can figure out a mile fucking way, like beat for beat, what's going to happen in this fucking movie, up to the point that I knew from the fucking get-go, as soon as you get the storyline about that there's this company that's developing drones to basically take over the Jaeger's job, or they don't have to have humans in them to pilot them, and they can just people can just pilot them through like computers and everything else like that, so there risk casualties and all that shit like that. You know from the fucking get-go who the fucking villain is, because there's like this rogue Jaeger that pops up. If you've seen the trailers, you know you've seen this. You know who's responsible for it. It's not a fucking surprise. Although they do kind of throw a twist in there a little bit that makes me go, huh? Like, really? That's who you're going to be your main villain? But it's like, whatever. Like, the girl who is the head of this company is given zero fucking character development, and she's just there. I had to look. I was like, was she in the fucking? It's been a while since I've seen the first one. I'm like, was she in the fucking original? Or because this seems like a character that we're supposed to know about, but no, apparently she wasn't. I had to look it up to make sure. apparently she fucking wasn't, and it was just a character that was introduced, given no fucking character development, and yeah, fuck it. It's like, and Charlie Hunnam, or not Charlie Hunnam, Charlie Day's working for her for some fucking reason out of the fucking blue. Just kind of feels like shit, like a whole other movie was missing in between, because like this is taking place 10 years after the first movie, and it's like maybe there's probably bits like missing from this fucking movie. It seems like there's complete long bits of like background or backstory that is fucking missing from this movie that probably should have been left in there. Like I said, zero character development. Like I said, at least, yeah, there was, like I said, the first one had like cliche cookie cutter characters. Yeah, they weren't the most original. Like I said, the original had fucking Ron Perlman, Idris Elba, Charlie Hunnam was alright. This one's got John Boyega, who's fine, but he's, like I said, given fucking nothing. Clint Eastwood's kid, who's just fucking bland and is not even half the fucking guy his dad was. And you just got a bunch of other fucking characters. That's about it. That have no fucking character. Like, the people that return are just. Charlie Day does, and Charlie Day gets kind of a pretty big plot, which I love. I love Charlie Day, but man, I was really fucking disappointed by this movie. Even the fucking I was just so bored. I mean, I was just so bored while watching this movie that like when the monsters were fighting, I just really couldn't give a shit. Really, I couldn't. I just really couldn't. Yeah, I don't know what else. Not much to talk about this movie. It sucks. It was not very good. It was a huge disappointment. Like I said, it's not the worst thing I've seen. I guarantee it. I mean, if I would, I would say probably like when I rather watch this or 1517 to Paris, or what was the other movie I didn't like earlier this year. I don't know. I guess I would like this because a little bit more, because I mean, at least this. Something happened. Like, at least something happened. But still, it was not that interesting. I don't know. But, I don't know. I just, yeah, don't see this. It was such a damn disappointment. I mean, I'm all for popcorn fun, and that's what a lot of people that have liked this movie or defended it by, just like saying, it's just, fun popcorn movie. Yeah, and they'll say, the first one really was a fun popcorn movie. Yeah, but at least it tried to be a fucking movie. At least it had some semblance of fucking characters. This one just has nothing. Like, and even by that, even really, the monster duels are not that great as much as they were in the fucking first one. Or, like, I don't know if I'm the only one that felt that way. I don't know. I didn't care, man. Man, that's such a disappointment. If Guillermo del Toro comes back and does a third movie, I'll fucking see it, because, I mean, hell. I know he was busy fucking winning an Oscar for Shape of Water, but fuck. Man. Man, this one really hurt me. It did. It fucking hurt me, man. I really liked the first one. Alright, trailers. I only got one new trailer. Action Point. So apparently the guys from Jackass are still, making movies. I didn't know that. Cool. It's basically Jackass. It's basically like, Bad Grandpa, in that it's an episode of Jackass where Johnny Knoxville is kind of playing a character and has a narrative going on around this movie while also doing stupid stunts and everything else. But it's about, like, it kind of seems like a prequel to fucking Bad Grandpa too, by the way. Like, I thought that was like where it was going, because it's Johnny Knoxville's in the old man makeup again, where at the beginning of the trailer where he's babysitting his granddaughter this time, and he basically tells her the story of when he ran this horrible amusement park that was like the worst amusement park alive out there. And apparently it's based off a real amusement park that existed in the 70s. I'm not fucking kidding. Look it up. It is apparently a fucking real thing that literally people died on. I was like, holy shit. Like, it's like, and people actually died on some of these rides at this amusement park, and it was shut down, I think, a while back. I think actually they did reopen it or something. I don't know because it had some popularity, but whatever. I was like, it looks alright. It didn't look terrible, but also at the same time, it's like, I love Jackass. I really do. I thought the original show was great. The movies were great. But it's starting to fucking get old. That shtick is... I don't know if I'm the only one who's kind of feeling like that shtick is starting to get old pretty quick. I mean, these guys are like, what, fucking 40? You gotta be around 50 years... Not too far from fucking 50. I know they gotta be 40 years old. They gotta stop doing this shit, man. I mean, think about your fucking health. I mean, come on, guys. You gotta start fucking thinking about your health. Stop doing this shit, man. They're still doing these really stupid fucking stunts. They really don't. They really should. I mean, it was fun at the, like... Now I'm just like, man, quit doing that. I don't know. Like I said, like, the stick was fun. Like, I love the original show, but I don't know. It didn't look terrible. It didn't really look that bad. I'll probably still see it. But I like Johnny Knoxville. Honestly, Johnny Knoxville is one of the most talented guys out of that fucking group. The only really talented guy out of that group that really has some, like, has proven outside Jackass, he can be very fucking funny. So, I don't know. Yeah, so that's as far as previews and Pacific Rim Uprising. And I'll be back sometime later this week or maybe tomorrow with Ready Player One. And until then, I'll talk to you guys.